Hey y'all, Haley and Zoe here with the Canine Pack in Hillsborough, North Carolina. I wanted to do a little bit of an after video, but it's different than usual for Zoe because she knew most of her commands when she came in. So I've got Zoe on place right now and she's a little anxious. Down. So one of the things we've been working on is that double down and patterning that habit and correcting the panting and getting her head down as well on place so it's just extra secure. So one of the things Zoe's mom said she would do is if there were food or like if food hit the ground, Zoe would come attack her other dog over it. Like even if she was on place, she would break place and come attack her other dog over it. So I've got my dogs loose in the house and I just want to show you how much better she's holding place, even in exciting situations. Good girl. So this is super hard for her. And a super arousing situation. Good. And so I might give her some right now, but she actually has allergies, so I'm gonna hold off. And so because that was stressful for her, I'm gonna go ahead and tell her down again. Zoe, down. Good. And what I'm looking for is for that head to completely relax, and that will help if her body's in a calm place to help really let go of the tension. So double down is one thing she's been working on, and cleaning up the place command in general. Zoe couldn't really hold place before. She knew what it meant and she knew what she was supposed to do, but her mom was having trouble holding her accountable even though she was doing everything her previous trainer told her to. So we changed out some of Zoe's equipment. She's not on the same e-collar that most of the dogs wear, and that's okay. And some dogs are different. Some dogs have different correction levels. So we changed out that equipment for her, and as you can see, it's been a lot more effective. And so even toys, exciting things like that, we really want her to be able to hold place, even if other dogs are playing. So let's get some excitement so you can see. Zoe, down. Good. So this is hard for her because it's super exciting, and Taylor always gets intense when she's playing tug. But she's doing pretty well overall. Good job. Good. Another thing we did with Zoe was teach her the OUT command. And what that does is it helps her have the impulse control to disengage from something that she's hyper fixated on, like food or toys or even people affection some dogs can over fixate on. So that just is a command that says, hey, drop what you're doing, throw your hands up, turn, and walk away. It really just means disengage completely. So what we're gonna do is we can show you. Zoe, break. Zoe, break. Good girl. So if she were loose and say something happened, like I dropped something, I would say, Zoe, out. Good. And she knows to remove herself from the situation. So I'm gonna put her back on place just so you can see her. Zoe, here. Good girl. Zoe, here. Place. Place. Good girl. Another thing that we taught her was follow. So that just means when I call you and I start moving, that means stay within 3 feet of me. And that helps keep her from, you know, sprinting through the house, or, you know, if you're trying to get her to move from one room to the other, you know, seeing what the other dog is doing, or maybe checking out what's on the counter, or finding something to resource guard. So really keeping her in a controlled manner of staying right with me. So that just looks like staying within 3 feet. So Zoe, here. Zoe, here. Good girl. So as I move about, that's all I want from her, is to stay within that 3 feet of me. So we also would not perform a down with just the verbal before she needed leash pressure. So I want to show you that. Zoe, down. Good girl. So that's super useful. Like, you know, you're not always going to have a pet caught when you're at a patio restaurant or at a park or anything like that. So super excited that she'll be able to hold it down in exciting situations like that. And we got the follows, we've got out, she's learned double down. She also learned treadmill training, so we'll show you what that looks like. Treadmill training can have different benefits for different dogs. For a lot of dogs, it can be a huge confidence boost, but that's not really something Zoey was struggling with. But what Zoey has been struggling with is really listening and paying attention to something outside of herself that's asking something of her. So, she's really been on her own plan and blowing off recall and not listening to what she's been told. So I think treadmill training has been really good for her because, well, the floor keeps moving. So either you get on board and you pay attention and you're a team player and get with the program, or you're not. So I think it's really been good for her behaviorally and mentally. Also, it's a great physical and mental stimulation exercise that, can get her in the right headspace before her mom takes her off leash. If she gets her on the treadmill for 10 minutes, it can really make other things go well. So it can just knock the fresh off of her. So I just want to show you what that looks like. Zoey, hop up. Good girl. Come on. So this is really all I'm looking for. And yeah, I think it's been a huge help for her. So Zoey was blowing off recall when she first came in, and it's not because she didn't know what recall meant, it's because she was over aroused by other dogs and things like that. So we've been cleaning up her recall. One of the pieces of that puzzle was getting her a stronger e-collar. So not every e-collar is right for every dog, so we do think that switch has played a big role in her success. Another big part of her success has been owner education. So making sure her mom knows how to be a leader and understand dog psychology enough to know that her relationship with Zoey affects Zoey's behavior. So we do have a book that every client reads while their dog is in for a board and train, and we think that's really helped bridge the gap with Zoey's behavior. So I also want to show you her recall real quick. Zoey, here. Good girl. Good girl. Break. Break. Zoey, here. Good girl. Sit. Good girl.